Hello, welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing clothes. I'm wearing a I Love Vodka t shirt. So I've been watching none of the Olympics, but I did see a quick boxing match, and I can't pronounce the person's name because I don't care to try. But it was um, it was intergender boxing. It was a man versus a woman. I believe it was a Italian woman versus a I don't know some country that has suicide bombers. But anyway, so it was like a man versus a woman. The man won in like 42 seconds. He hit the woman twice, and the woman gave up because it just hurt too much. She says she's never been hit that hard in her life, which is a good thing. Which it means she's never been in an abusive relationship. But if she was my ex, she would have definitely lasted a couple of rounds. But anyway, yeah. So like in the Olympics, we got dudes fighting chicks. That's crazy. I never thought I'd see the day, but like apparently there's two men in the Olympics right now who are fighting women, and they have XY chromosomes, but they have female parts, kind of. It's one of those situations where like the one in a million person. It's like they're born with both parts. Uh, it's kind of like that. So it's a guy. It's, it looks like a man. Okay, it definitely looks like a man for sure, but it has a vagina because it was born and and it's complicated because I don't care enough. I'm just saying it's like physically it looks like a man though. But there's a vagina there, and the chromosomes. It has XY chromosomes. Okay. Basically, this is a person whose parents lived too close to a toxic waste dump, and so like when they had a kid, it came out fucked up. Okay. Jesus Christ. But basically, uh, I guess they were trying to fight like in the professional. I don't know what it's called. Is like the ICC or something like that? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But they were trying to be professional boxers in the female division because they got vaginas, even though they're not. Anyway, and they were not allowed because they are actually men because medically, when they do tests, they have XY chromosomes. Men have XY chromosomes. Women have XX chromosomes. Okay, so these are men, but they're men with vaginas because they were born. They were born abnormally, whatever defects, whatever. But it happens. Like every couple of million people, someone's going to be born different. So these two boxers happen to be. And I don't know how to explain it. It's like because it's like they don't look like women, even though they're trying to. Like facially in the face, they look like dudes. They're like men range in height, so I can't say that height wise they're men. Men. I've seen men who are 5'3". I've seen men who are 7'3". So but I'm just saying like physically they do look like men. Like I don't see any tits on these guys. Okay. They, because like, they're wearing tank tops because they're women, but it looks like a dude wearing a tank top. Well, because it is a dude wearing a tank top. But anyway, the whole point is, I'm glad that dude won because, like, if that dude would have lost to a chick, that'd have been embarrassing. So, like, good for him on winning. And hopefully the gold medal match is going to be those two dudes, because it's got to be. Like, there's no way in hell a woman is going to beat either one of those guys. Because it's like, the average man is, well, like 6 times. Yeah, the average man is 6 times stronger than the average woman. Come on. There's no chance. And like I was watching the match, like the boxing, like there was no skill. Like he just threw a punch, and it didn't even really connect fully. But man, that woman spun around, and then he hit her again, and once again, it didn't really look like it connected like fully because he didn't look like a good boxer, but it's still a man fighting a woman. And this the second punch, like the woman's like, I give up. And then she what did she do? She like collapsed to her knees and like, this is unjust. Well, no shit. But you know what? This is women's fault. This would needs to happen. You need to stop women like these woke women like Don Staley and like Megan Rapinoe, who were like, oh yeah, I think it's fine if transgender, aka men, play in our sport. Like in high school, you got boys on the girls' volleyball team because they identify as a girl. You know, doing like tossing spikes on the chicks, like 70-mile-an-hour spikes, hitting chicks in the face, paralyzing chicks. Like this one high school chick uh, was playing against a team that had a dude on their team. The dude spiked the ball, and I think they said it was going 90 miles an hour. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It was a dude spiking a ball against a chick, and anyway, this chick had never seen a ball go that fast because she's used to playing against women. So it hit her right in the face. She suffered brain damage from it, and she's paralyzed, partial paralyzation on her right side now, because that's how bad the brain damage was. Can you believe that shit? Now, if it was a woman that would have spiked the ball and hit her in the face, first of all, it might not have hit her in the face because it wouldn't have been going as fast. Because a woman wouldn't have been able to hit like a high school chick wouldn't have been able to hit I swear they said it was 90 miles an hour. Even so, let's just say it was 10 miles an hour. It doesn't matter. A female volleyball player is going to hit it minimum uh, 20 miles slower. Okay? So she would have been used to seeing a spike go that fast, so it probably wouldn't have hit her in the face. Okay? And so she probably wouldn't have gotten hurt. So it's just like, men versus women. The reason why we don't let men and women play, I guess, combat sports against each other is because, the women always get hurt. Always get hurt. Imagine like if a woman wanted to play tackle football, she'd die. Okay, and the sad thing is that's what's gonna have to happen for just to be a wake up, a mass awakening. Like even in this boxing right now, like if one of these women just wants to be like, I'm taking a stand, I'm gonna go all out and like fight this dude or one of these dudes and gets hit in the head, like we're talking coma, we're talking death. Like if that happened, it would probably be some wake up call, and they would have to just cut all this bullshit. But that's probably what's going to have to happen to make it stop. Because the problem is you have women who support men playing women's sports, and it starts at the high school level, like middle school level. And so what happens? It's like, why do kids play sports in the first place? Like poor kids. The reason why poor kids play sports is because their parents told them to. Because it's like, we need, if you want to go to college, this might be the only way you can go is if you get a partial scholarship or scholarship. So we need you to play sports. So imagine like, some poor girl playing a sport because she's just doing it to go to college, okay? and then it gets taken away because I don't know if the colleges take trans people for sports. For I mean, like men for women's sports. So think of all the girls who like or are afraid to play. Imagine all the girls who are afraid to play their high school sport because they got to play against dudes. Or imagine all the girls who lost their spot on the team because there's dudes on the team. It's like we're missing the point of why at least high school kids are playing sports. Most of them, it's to get a college scholarship. At least that's when I was in high school. There were a few people playing sports just to get a scholarship. I mean, some were just doing it just to get exercise because I went to Culver High, so a lot of kids were rich, and you didn't really want any. Like we cut the district line, so all the Mexicans had to go to Venice, and all the blacks, well, they were in jail anyway, so it didn't matter. But like if you're in a poor environment, poor school, like all these kids are playing to get a scholarship, and so like you have boys taking away women's opportunities, and it starts at the middle school, high school level, and so then like you have less women in college because if the colleges just wants to win, so like if you're gonna let dudes play women's sports, you're just taking away women's sports. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a women's college basketball team that's all guys. I mean, if this keeps going, and then they win the national championship, but it's like okay, and then like these guys gonna get drafted to the WNBA. I mean, like that'll make it watchable because like there's only one Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is great. I love watching Caitlin Clark play basketball. But maybe if you put a few dudes on some other teams, maybe it'll be watchable. But I don't know. It's the Olympics is a joke. Like it started out stupid with the with all the trans and drag queens doing the like reenacting Last Supper, which is like why? Okay, now you got dudes beating up chicks, in the boxing. I mean, this Olympics is a joke. It's a joke, and I'm sure most people are like me and just not watching it. I mean, everything I've seen has just been clips because people are complaining about it. People aren't even talking about the sports; they're talking about all the bullshit going on with this, like the woke bullshit. And I think that the next Summer Olympics is going to be in Los Angeles. I think. I hope it's just normal, like normal. I don't have to explain what normal is. It's the opposite of what's going on right now. And, but it just shows you like how far society has fallen because like this only happens when society is collapsing. Okay, the signs of society collapsing are graffiti, gender roles are messed up, and you got this weird. Um, it's my kink, but we're gonna make everyone else try to accept its sexuality bullshit because a lot of these trans people, that's their kink, like dressing up as the opposite sex. It's a kink, but apparently porn um, exacerbates it or amplifies it, whatever. So because like the one common factor, all these dudes that start dressing like women, they watch a lot of porn apparently. But anyway, I don't know. The Olympics isn't about sports anymore. It's about some leftist agenda. I don't know because like I don't see what's the point because remember 99% of us are straight. So what's going on? Like 99% of us don't like the transgender crap, but we're living in a society where it's being pushed in our face the whole time, and it makes no sense. And like the French art director who was in charge of the opening ceremony was like, "I'm doing this for inclusion." I think the Olympics is the wrong place to find tranny and drag queen inclusion, because this is like for countries to send their best athletes and they compete against each other. It's not about, I don't know, TikTok dances. I don't understand. I don't like, if you want inclusion, just have a normal ceremony and everyone watching it can feel included because everyone can relate to patriotism. But not everyone can relate to a drag queen Last Supper reenactment. That doesn't make any sense. It's like they actually exclude people by trying to include 1% of the population. There are certain things in life that everyone can relate to. Being transgender is not one of them. Making your sexuality your personality is not one of them. Like, if your sexuality is your personality, there's a problem. You know, like, you don't see me all day talking about skinny Asian chicks, you know? I love skinny Asian chicks, but I don't make it my personality. Wouldn't it suck if, like, the only thing I talked about was skinny Asian chicks? And I somehow turned every conversation into, like, but speaking of that, you'd be like, what the fuck? It's just as bad as, like, the super religious people where the only thing they can talk about is God. That's just as bad as someone only talking about skinny Asian chicks, or something. It's just as bad as the only thing someone can talk about is like being a drag queen. You'd be like, what the fuck? Like, you just don't care. Like, extremes push people away. If you want people to be more accepting of these weirdos, just don't talk about them. Usually, stuff that isn't in your face gets by. It gets by. It slips out of the radar. It gets to do what it wants to do. No one bothers it. You know, like, the only time these people get crap is when they push it in people's faces. So you want to include people, just be normal, because your personality shouldn't be who you sleep with, or in my friend Jason's case, your personality shouldn't be whose trash you dig through. Anyway, I've said enough. You guys have a good one. Talk to you later. Peace.